What's up guys, we're back with a brand new video. Today's video, we're going to be going over my round 6 AFL footy tips. Now last round I did my worst round of the year, getting 5 out of the 9, which put me from almost first in the tipping comp to, I think I'm around the top 5 still. So if you guys want to go join my tipping comp, make sure to go down below into the description and join. If you already tip on the ESPN footy tips app, you can just join and all your scores from each round will already be there, so you can come and join in the fun on our footy tipping comp. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first match up is GWS versus Western Bulldogs, and after Bulldogs getting up by 8 points. Now on the ESPN app they do have 95% on the side of Western Bulldogs, but GWS, it is at home for them, so I would not be writing them off. They're in some very hot form. I actually almost tipped them, but I thought I'll go the safer option in this case after having a horrible round last week and going for the Western Bulldogs. Next matchup is Cats versus the Eagles, and I have the Cats getting up by 11 points. This matchup is actually at GMHBA, which I feel like gives the huge edge to the Cats, and I'm pretty sure that Jeremy Cameron is playing this game. There was some rumours during the week that is what's happening, and I feel like that in the past West Coast have got exposed for having a lack of defence in their back half, because most of the defenders like to play off their man, and when there's multiple key forwards I have to worry about, they kind of do get exposed at times. So I feel like that's going to really get exposed in this matchup. The hard thing for the Cats will be actually trying to defend Oscar Allen, Darling and Josh Kennedy, but I feel like they're so much better in the middle, even though they do have Patrick Dangerfield missing. Having players like Duncan, Selwood, Cam Guthrie still around in that midfield. You know, with Isaac Smith and Sam Menigola, probably some of the two best midfielders for Geelong this season. So with them running on the outside, I feel like they'll be too strong. Next up is Swans versus the Suns, and I have the Swans winning by 25 points. Now this match is actually at Metricon Stadium, so I'm not fully writing off Gold Coast, but you know, losing Ruckman, they're currently sitting at 1-4. They're looking like this is the worst they've looked in a few years, even though this meant to be their young talent that to take them through. And the next, pretty much their second shot at it, because you know they had the Gary Ablett era, they didn't go anywhere with it. Now they have, you know, the Matt Rowell era. They can't do anything with it because injuries, and they just can't win. They're just struggling to find how to win, and I'm kind of getting a bit worried about the Isaac Rankins, Ben Kings, and Lukosius of the world, because I feel like they're going to get, you know, a losing mindset, and then they'll eventually move to other clubs, and then it'll be a third times lucky for Gold Coast. But I feel like the Swans, even though they're losing Buddy Franklin, will be too good in this matchup. Next up, I do have the Lions defeating the Blues by 14 points. Now, I almost went for the Blues again after I did try to tip them last week against Power, which completely fell out the back door. But I just feel like that I have to back the Lions in here. They're starting to get some form now, and Carlton came off a very disappointing loss to Power last week, and the Lions came off a huge smashing. But I feel like that they've been criticised so much, the Blues, this week, that they're going to have to bounce back. So that's why I almost said the Blues, but their talent on paper just doesn't match up towards what the Lions can put out. And when the Lions have their game plan set, Lachie Neale's starting to get into form. I do expect Ed Curnow to be on the tag on him, but I feel like the Lions will be too strong in this matchup and win by 14 points. Next up is the Anzac Day Eve match between the Tigers and the D's, and I have the Tigers getting up by 5 points. I feel like the Tigers are just too strong. I counted them out last week against the Saints, and it did not work at all, even though it was a bit of a biased tip because I always picked the Saints. But either way, I did not think the Tigers, you know what, I feel like the Tigers were starting to head back a bit and, you know, starting to dwell out of all their success, but they just bounced back after having a couple of poor performances, and probably the best footy they played probably since 2017. It's the best I've ever seen them look. Their game plan worked absolutely beautifully, and I just love how everyone's playing in their team, and they're finally all hitting form at the exact same time. And not talking about the Jack Riot's been in great form, but when we look at the D's have been possibly the best team with the Western Bulldogs this season. But I think they might get their key forwards back this week. It'll be interesting to see how they come into it. but I feel like you cannot bet against the Tigers, and this is Demons' first, I wouldn't say real test, but that this is what I can see where they actually are at this season. Next up is Freo versus the Roos, and I have Freo getting the job done by 31 points. But so far this season, I feel like that this could be their first chance to actually get a win. Now, I know it's crazy, it's at Optus Stadium, Fremantle always so good at Optus Stadium, but their backs against the wall right now, North. Everyone has them not winning a game, and to be honest, they've all got written off for actually winning a game this year. So it probably sounds crazy, but they haven't won a game yet, but they're not under any pressure because everyone knows that they're rebuilding. Backs against the wall, everyone's written them off. Imagine they go over to Western Australia, it's one of the hardest places to win, and they beat Freo. But I feel like that's a bit crazy. I'm not backing him into tipping, but I feel like the possibility is there. But then you have a look at the Roos, and you have a look at Freo. They came off a very impressive win against Crows, going over to Adelaide Oval, which is a really hard place to win. They got the job done. David Mundy turned back the clock. So I feel like it's Freo should just, put away another win. Seems to be every time they play at Optus, they get the job done pretty comfortably. It's always their away part, and they seem to be able to do that. So Freo putting, a nice bit of footy together right now. Next up, I do have Hawks versus the Crows, and I have Hawks getting the job done by 19 points. This match is actually set out at Tasmania, and I feel like that Hawks at Tassie rarely lose. They really put a step wrong, and I feel like that they will get the job done. Now, Crows, on the other hand, I've been a real big fan of what I put out this season. I literally turn on the Crows match every week just to see what Tex Walker can do. The past couple of weeks, he's really disappointed, but this could be the match where he bounces back. I don't think it will be, but you never know. We could see another 13-13 at Tasmania, like when Buddy Franklin did that a few years ago. So I'm not writing that off the cards, and that would actually be pretty insane to see. But I'd rather Hawks getting the job done simply because it's at Tassie, and Hawks have a pretty good record at Tassie, and I don't trust the Crows enough to travel yet as a football club. Next up is Dons versus the Pies, and I have the Dons getting up by 3 points. Now, I was pretty shocked about this, but they're actually not favourites in this match. I thought that the Dons on paper have a better list running out there. Now, we haven't seen the best 22 come out yet, but they've already said that Jay Rantle will be debuting for Collingwood. So it seems like they're going for a bit of a younger route in this match, and we already know how young Essendon are. And I personally love Essendon's list right now. So I do feel like that Essendon will get the job done, and the only thing that's killing Essendon right now is that the lack of a ruckman. But as soon as I saw that, I originally I did tip Collingwood when I was going through my tips before I made this video, but now I'm just thinking the last time that Grundy went up against an unexperienced ruckman, it was against Brisbane Lions when they were running key forwards because Oscar McNerney was injured. And, even though he dominated the match, was probably the best player on the ground, they still lost by Zach Bailey. So I feel like that the Dons will get the job done. 2 metre Peter, all he needs to do around the ground is just stop Grundy's influence. And then I feel like their midfield should be able to win. To be honest, Collingwood's midfield's looking a bit suspect right now. They have a lot of injuries. Jordan DeGoey and Jeremy Howe, probably the X-factor players at either end, are gone. I don't know if they're going to go with the Darcy Moore route. I don't know if Cox is going to come back. And I'm really liking Essendon's list right now, so I'm going to have to go for Essendon in this match. And the last game of the round is my team, St Kilda versus the Power. And I never pick against the Saints, so I'm going again. I'm backing the Saints. But surprisingly, I'm actually not too bad about picking the Saints right here. Now, everyone's written the Saints off after having another bad loss. It seems like St Kilda put a foot wrong, and then they're already written off. Seems like this is the one team in the AFL that the AFL media wants to write off is the Saints. I don't know what we've done. I don't know, even though we've had, a couple poor performances, but we're 2-3 and we're only 5 rounds into the season. What happens if we win this game? I'm just thinking to the AFL media, what's going through their head? They want to write us off, but I'm backing us in to get the job done by 16 points. I kind of feel a little bit confident going into this match. We've had, a great couple wins last year at Adelaide Oval, which we've never been able to win at Adelaide Oval, the Saints, until last year. We won both our games at Adelaide Oval last year. So I feel like, and on paper, Power are stacked on injuries right now. So of their best players are injured, and we have Rowan Marshall back into the team. That we're undefeated with Rowan Marshall this season. He only played one game, and he pretty much dominated Nick Nat in that game. So, one of the best ruckmen in the comp in Nick Nat got beaten by Rowan Marshall, who probably will be one of the best ruckmen in the comp. He's still pretty young. So I feel like the Saints in midfield should get on top with, Marshall being there. And their pressure around the ground is all that the Saints need. They've just lacked effort. Their players is there. You can see what they're trying to do with their game plan. It's just the effort. The only time I've seen the effort from St Kilda is that second half of that West Coast game. If we can do that the whole game against Port, we should be able to comfortably get the job done, I feel, by the 16 points. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.